Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is definitely another opportunity to have a conversation concerning the youth. And today we are glad to be hosting James Githua. James Githua is an upcoming leader. He's a youth and currently a student taking production and mechanical engineering in Mo University. He has been passionate in pushing this agenda. And today we want to have a follow-up conversation on what actually happens and what is the role of the youth in attending some issues which affect them in the society. So, James, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. How about you?
Yes, we are working quite well, Mr. James. I'm happy that you joined us today. I'm actually very thankful. I know at the end of this conversation, we'll have shared a lot, and we need to actually capitalize on your time so that we make the agendas which will change what we have as youth and what is actually affecting us as society. So, James, kindly tell us a little more about yourself.
Hello. As I said, I'm James Mondi. I'm a student, as just I said. More about myself is that I'm a person who has been in leadership. I've been trying to venture into how youths themselves can be the agents of change in this Kenya. And it's been a course that I've taken it passionately, I've believed in this course. And I'm still studying a lot about how many youths are going to be the version of leaders that are required in Kenya and Africa as a general as the days go by, so that the next breed of youths who will come after us will find a foundation that has been laid by us. Yes.
Good. So, asking this question again, what do you think is the biggest issue we have currently affecting our youth?
Okay, the biggest issue affecting the youth currently in our nation is misinformation, because the youths are being fed into information that they are supposed to be successful. They have what it takes to be successful, and now they have that urge of people thinking that youths should be successful and it is a must. It's building pressure to youth to make them now feel like the pressure is too much, and that is why you see the youths killing themselves and doing other things that are not acceptable in the society.
So, being a first year in your no, sorry, being a third year in the university currently, yeah? What is your situational analysis of the youth in our current setup?
Now, the current situation of the youth, I normally categorize these youths in, they are youths whose people who came before them, that is their parents, had planned for them, those ones that come from families which can give them the youth opportunities like jobs, and even after education they have the opportunities. Now the other youths who have to make the ways for themselves. First of all, in school, they are reading in that notion that there are no jobs, or the opportunities are scarce and they need to do a lot. Some work that is, to them, it might be impossible. And for those who are employed from the families, their employers are making the conditions to be difficult for them to build a future for themselves. The ones who are unemployed now, the society itself is making the youth now to jump like from the frying pan into the fire.
Wow. So, being in the university right now, and I think you have seen these people, what they are doing, and all that. What are some of the features we need to see to actually point out to us that we have a problem with the youth or the people we are interacting with? Let's say somebody who doesn't have a good conversation or have a good information about the actual problem facing the youth. What are some of the signs I need to look out if I was in maybe a university setup to actually see that these are people who actually need help?
The first thing that people need to do to make sure that they know that the youths have a problem is to actually engage the youth. It's impossible to engage my parent who might not be knowing the real issue that is affecting me. The kind of pressure that the youth are being subjected to, they are the only ones who can actually explain it to you, and getting it from their mouth is the best way that you can actually know that there is a problem.
Mhm. So, James, I'm asking this question. Let's say I'm at Moi University today. What are some of the characteristics being portrayed out by the youth or your classmates and your university mates as of now, which actually point out to the current problem the youth are facing out?
No, the current situation I can see among the classmates that I happen to interact with on a daily basis is because, first of all, they are becoming people who have decided to let the pressure go, and instead of choosing to hold on to the cause that brought them to school, now they are portraying school as a way of wasting time or having that time that you just spending for 4 to 5 years to go and start something else that you don't give the school, its way, its importance that is supposed to have been portrayed, like those years when education was a motivation.
So we find guys who are just there to grind through the day. They are just there, they are unmotivated. I think this is what you want to express out. What is the way
Yeah,
out?
they are. Yeah, I
What
think
should be the way
the
out?
way
Yes.
out,
Yes.
the way out to this problem is, as I've said, first of all, engage the youth themselves, and let the society understand that these youths are going through something that only themselves they can explain. Now, when you understand someone, it's easy to work with that person in a way to come out with that issue. Now, the other way is that after listening to them, it's now up to the people to make sure that they are in motivation. Like, we need people like who went through the course that we are going on, who went through the way that we are actually in, so that they can show us the right way to go. Instead of now, the kind of motivation we get from a society is shortcut way. You find someone just posted a random video, a random video. It happened that it trend, and the person got maybe a government job, a job that someone else is in school trying to study hard to get the particular job.
Good. Okay, let's say these are issues which are external to the youth. Okay, the lack of a policy, employment opportunities, and all that. But there is somewhere you have mentioned that I think the youth also like doing shortcuts. So apart from that, I want you to, in a quick way, tell us what role do these youth actually play in bringing themselves to these problems?
First of all, I like to say the youths themselves are these people who have decided to have their jealousy to their friends about those ones who are successful. And there you find the one person who is successful is trying to kill the bridge that made him cross the other side and to make sure that the others cannot get to his way. That is one factor. The youth themselves are not united enough to go and speak out their issues. Another thing is this issue of if someone is having a problem or an issue at home, rather than just solving the issue from how it's supposed to be solved, if you need money, you're gonna go and look for that money, or you go and ask for the money. Taking drugs or doing some weird things or maybe stealing cannot be the solution to the problem. So I feel the youth themselves go for problem solving skills, which instead of making them better, they make their lives even worse.
That's a good one. So, you have realized that you are in a hole. We have a problem. As a youth between 20 to 30 years and all that, as an individual, what do you recommend should actually be the course of action?
The course of action right now for the youth is actually to identify the youths. We have issues affecting the youth. They are not general. There are some youths who are dealing with stress which is not related to money issues. There are some youths who are dealing, most of them are dealing with stress related to issues to do with finances. Now, it is upon us to go and take like even bodies like people who deal with the mental issues can come up with something like questionnaires, can come up with something like conferences to make sure that we engage the youth as much as possible and involve them in crucial decisions so that we can harness their abilities.
Okay. So let's say this, huh? How prevalent is these cases of, let's say, drug abuse in our current setup, in our current age?
I can say the situation like it's severe. Right now I can say it's a severe situation. It's a situation that needs to be cared for. And the way I can explain it is that the youths themselves have decided to paint drugs a very good picture to make it look like it's the way which can be the best to escape problems or to escape the real issue. So now the situation is severe because the youths themselves have embraced it as a way of dealing with issues.
So when you mentioned that some of the youths are taking shortcuts in trying to solve these particular problems, what do you actually mean?
What I mean is that the youth themselves, we are going to, like now I'm doing engineering. But then I see a youth who bought a vehicle through maybe trading in, let's say, these issues of cryptocurrency. Okay, that is a shortcut way. He tried his way to do it and he successfully did it. And then what works for him might not work for me. That is why now the youth have decided now, if whatever I'm doing will take 5 years, he took 2 months to actually become a very rich person. That is now I can leave my course to join his. That is what I mean by shortcuts.
So you are telling me that these guys, they are enticed in one way or the other by what maybe their peers are doing or what is being portrayed out by the society. That they want to live out maybe the long way and focus on the shorter way as much as they can.
Yes, that's what I mean exactly. Because I've decided like whatever he's doing and he has been successful, I can also try it out. I think he has been successful. I can also be successful.
So, what is the overall impact? Because you are having conversations on a daily basis with these guys. Eh? So, what normally happens to them when they fail? Maybe somebody did something, then they want to copy paste, and unfortunately, along the way, the shortcut is not working. Or what has been the other repercussions you've been seeing by just following up on actually what people are doing out there?
First of all, like the the overall problem is being accelerated by the people themselves. Now, when I tried this shortcut method, and maybe because I believe that education maybe was somehow a way of just living, it was not the main way of getting successful. First of all, I just start now not taking my studies the way I'm supposed to be taking them seriously. And then you find that now people have started failing in their exams. People are taking to try other ways of doing the exams which is not right, stealing exams, and then this stealing exams comes to now being punished by the school. Eventually someone might even leave school or be there in school just being there. It's not, you're not doing your education and you're not doing anything that is helpful, only to come and disappoint maybe your parents or people who have been with you with the way that you can't graduate or you can't do your studies correctly.
Well, it's a serious one. Eh? So, James, we have a problem. What are some of the candid steps you think we need to actually take?
First of all, uh, it has to come from the youth themselves. It is to accept that now we are in a situation that it needs care. So the youth, you cannot continue being in a ditch. You're not holding up your hand to be taken from the ditch while people's efforts are like people are trying their best to pull you up. It has to come from us, the youth, and then the society. The way we said, they need to come and engage us so that they can know the real issue. Now from there, we can start now we can start now seeing the right way in which we can solve this problem. First of all, it's now we need to see the real issues and solving them the way they are supposed to be. We don't need to use a shortcut way. It doesn't matter how long it will take. It doesn't matter what sacrifice someone has to take so that we can get out of this. But we have to take the issues and solve the issues using the appropriate ways.
So, being a student of engineering, I know you are going through a lot of pressure and all that. This is a tough course, by all means. Huh? And most probably, you are also in contact with youth. You feel they have been successful and they are actually doing the right thing. For us to be able to solve some of the problems we have highlighted, I think it is also good to know what is actually being done differently by this other group of youth. So, do you think you have seen which is different or quite unique on other youth which are actually not engaging on these other vices?
Now, I'll have to say this one is a very good thing. I have to say the youth who have been successful, first of all, they are very optimistic, and they believe in the course that they are doing. They believe in the path that they took. What I say, they solve the issues using the ways that took them sacrifice, and they never gave up. And also they used to listen to the voices of wisdom during those days. And now they have become now the voices now of wisdom, which the youth need right now. I feel the youth that time decided that they won't take shortcuts, they won't solve issues through shortcut ways, and now they are where they are because the ways they took to solve the problems did not bring other repercussions.
Now, let's come to James. So, you are currently a third year student pursuing a very tough course. What has been the secret from your end?
My secret for me being where I am and since I started the first year is, first of all, this is a career that I chose myself. And this is a career that I promised I have to complete. So I've been looking at the positives, not focusing so much on the pessimistic side. I've been taking things, looking and focusing mostly on the positive way of issues. Also, to say I've also been this person who is very keen to learn, very keen to learn. I can learn from my friends, I learn from people who are more successful than me. I can learn even from my own mistakes. That has been trying to adapt to new way of doing things, to new way of the education, to new way of the way school is running and everything. Instead of complaining every time, you just need to adapt and move on.
Thank you so much for sharing that information. So, thank you so much for sharing that information. I want to ask you this. The most prevalent issue which I know is facing our youth is poverty, which in one way or the other is going into a cyclic, vicious cycle. What do you think can be done to help reduce this?
Now, this is a very serious issue, the vicious cycle, because now you find the youths have been born in the way the shortcut way of doing in our society. The people who are able to do this shortcut are people that are already successful because you cannot bribe someone without money. You need money to bribe someone. That is how now it's going to a cycle. You don't have bribes, you lack opportunities, and then it goes around like that. First of all, the youth themselves need to know that we are in a tough situation. And now, for this cycle to continue, you need to believe in a way that you can start from a small place or a humble beginning so that we can go up higher. For example, the youths who are employed right now, someone might be employed in a company or someone who is paying him or her 500 shillings. And this person, instead of, he thinks that no, 500 shillings cannot build me a supermarket, cannot give me a shop, cannot give me an enterprise that I will believe in, that I will use to become successful. And now the youth decide that now, what do you do with this 500? You just spend it for today, and then tomorrow we'll bring it. We will care about itself, which is a very wrong mentality. You can start from whichever beginning, you can start from anywhere, If it is about saving, it's about doing something that you start from somewhere. Basically, the youth, it's already for those people who are born in poverty, for those of many youths in Kenya born in poverty, you need to believe that you can from somewhere, believe in the course that you've taken.
Thank you so much, James, for the conversation. I want to ask one last question. So, what do you think is the future?
What I think for the future is that I'm optimistic about this because such a conversation like we have had now, you are a first, and now if you have heard from us, this is an initiative that is going to take the youth to a next level. The youth themselves will have associations in school, and we are trying to show them how we can actually do this. So I believe the youth themselves have started being aware because the situation that we were in sometimes back before the associations came, before the youth organizations came, I think it was worse than we are right now. So I believe this course that we have taken, if people learn to embrace it, I think we have a better future ahead. And I believe even if we come out like, you're a person who is going to make sure people know the youth through this. Now, I know people are going to speak their needs, directly to the youth's needs. The youth voices are going to be heard more and more. I believe even if it will take a longer time, I believe things are going to be positive.
There is one thing you mentioned which I think you need to go back about it. You said that you feel the society is giving out a lot of unnecessary pressure. So I want you to handle this in two ways. Number one, how should actually the society approach this issue? And number two, what should be the course of action for these youth to avoid themselves being victims of this particular pressure?
Now, society should approach the youth is first of all involving them. Some people make decisions about the youth and impose the decisions on us, which should not be the way. You should involve me in a crucial decision that if the result of that discussion, they are going to be directed to me. I have to get involved. You've got to listen to my version of the story concerning the same. That is how a society should move. And then the society should also know that it is not guaranteed that whatever I'm doing might be the right. And I need to be corrected. I'm not a person who is a perfect person. Make sure that you know we have space for failure. We have space for trials that never became successful. And the society needs to know that I start from somewhere and I might not do the right thing. I might not do something to be successful, but they have to be patient with the youth. They have to be patient with us. And now, themselves, they said it has come from us. We need to help us meet together and let our voices be heard in one. Because if it will even who went there and maybe because they have gone the other way also, they might not have known the right way of doing things, which is not their fault. So as youths, we need to correct ourselves. We collect the pieces and count this together so that we can actually hold our voices high.
James, this it has been nice and great to have you in this conversation. But before I close it out, I want you to pass a message to the viewer who is listening to this being a youth, being a government representative or something, on what you actually believe should be done to change the future of our youth, all of us who are going through this particular grind, and make a better society.
First of all, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to host me in this, and to the youth outside there, but the pressure might be building on you every day, every time you're doing something. But I believe if you become optimistic, focus on the positive things, and try as much as possible not to allow that pressure to bring you down further than where you already are. Uh, to any other leader who's out there, and especially those people who are our voices, are the youth, people who are still youthful but they are quite successful. They need to know that we are also youth like them. They need to carry on the way they are. We need to listen to us. They have been there, and I believe if people try to focus on bringing a successful person, you need to start dealing with the issues that are affecting us. Like engage us in everything that you're going to decide about it. There are people who youthfulness in this country, they need to speak out on issues. Like the youths who are out there for demonstrations, or the youths who are out there bringing on guns, those people have been put up by people who are supposed to be our youth spokesmen, but now they are the ones being involved in bringing us down. So I just want them to know that, like, let us now start acting as teachers, not acting as fast anymore. And for all of us, our parents, they need to hold us. They need to hold us, and I think we
Thank you so much. Asante sana, Mr. James, for being present to this conversation. To the viewers, I want to appreciate you for your time. Let's play this particular role. Be on the lookout for another conversation about the youth. And I believe in one way or the other, we are going to change this and have a better nation together. Thank you so much.